Hello, your trusted guide Candace here again. In this video, I'm going to help you get clear on where you are currently. We need to identify what are your top priorities, the key areas you want to work on. So we're going to identify your most feared social situations. Social anxiety or feared social situations can roughly be divided into three categories. The first one involves social interaction with others. The second one involves being observed by others. And the third one involves performing in front of others. Now there is some overlap between the categories since social situations may fall into more than one category. In this section, like I said, we're going to identify your top three triggers. That way you're going to know which areas are the top priorities for you to work on as you work through the Calm Living Blueprint. Now you'll need the worksheet titled My Top 3 Feared Social Situations. So take a moment to pause the video and print that out, and then come back and play the video. Okay, so the first category is social interactions with others. Situations that involve social interaction or talking with others typically occur throughout our day-to-day lives, at work, at school, at home, at social gatherings, and in public places. Chatting with coworkers, placing a coffee order, asking for directions, and mingling at a party are all examples of situations involving social interaction. Now you may find that your level of anxiety in these types of situations depends on whom you are talking with, your role in the conversation, or, a number of other factors. One way to get at the specifics is to combine your response to the following two questions. And these questions are in the worksheet, like I said, titled My Top 3 Feared Social Situations. So if you haven't done so yet, pause the video right now, print out the handout, and then come back to the video. Okay, great. So here's the first question. When your anxiety is triggered during a conversation, with whom are you speaking? And you want to place a check mark beside all the ones that apply to you. Strangers, neighbors, friends, acquaintances, salespeople, one person versus groups of people. Maybe it's an authority figure like your boss or a teacher, romantic partner, spouse or date, coworkers, family members. Place a check mark beside any answer that applies to you. Question 2 is, when your anxiety is triggered, what are you doing in the conversation? And again, you want to place a check mark to all the answers that apply to you. So engaging in small talk, beginning a conversation, sharing information about yourself, asking for assistance, asking someone on a date, keeping a conversation going, ending a conversation, expressing an opinion or disagreement, maybe conflict, asking someone to change his or her behavior, speaking on the phone, or it can be something else that may not be listed here. Okay, so place a check mark beside all the ones that apply. That is all the situations involving social interaction. Category 2 is being observed by others. And there are many social situations that do not involve talking necessarily, but still have the potential for people to notice or observe you. And you may feel as if you were the center of attention in these situations, as if all eyes were on you, so to speak. So again, in the worksheet, check off all the common situations, if any, where your anxiety shows up. And it could be eating, drinking, or writing in front of others, waiting in line, walking into a crowded room, using a crowded elevator, driving, using a public restroom when other people are around, working in front of others, taking public transportation, walking in public, like walking down a crowded street, or walking in a shopping mall, dancing or exercising in front of others, maybe serving foods or drinks. And again, it could be something else, another situation that may not be listed here. And the last category is performing in front of others. Performance situations can range from formal to informal. People may have paid to see you perform, or may be evaluating you for a job, or you might simply have the floor, so to speak, as you give a toast at a wedding, speak up at a meeting, or tell a story at a dinner party. Now, performing is kind of in the eye of the beholder. Any social situation can feel like a performance. Even a simple conversation can feel like a performance. And that's okay. So you just want to place a check mark beside all the situations that involve performing in front of others that apply to you. Whether it's public speaking, speaking up at a meeting, singing in front of others, acting, playing sports, being interviewed for a job, introducing yourself to a group, asking a question in class, playing a musical instrument, performing a dance, taking a test, or any others that you may think of. Okay, so on the worksheet, check off all of the answers that apply to you. Alright, so great work. Okay, so now your responses for all three types of situations need to be considered. So look over all the ones that you had checked off, and what I want you to do is choose which ones you feel are the top three most problematic for you. Okay, the top three most problematic. And I gave you sample answers from Charlie and Sam to give you an example of what that might look like. So in Charlie's case, he wrote down number 1 as speaking up in a meeting at work. His second one was giving a presentation at work, especially when his boss is there. And his third one is giving speeches at family events like weddings and funerals. For Sam, her first one was any kind of small talk, especially with strangers. Her second one was dating, especially sharing stuff about herself. And number 3 for Sam was introducing herself to a group. Okay, so those may be similar to what you have. They probably will be different. So take some time to reflect on your answers and choose which 3 are your most problematic social situations. Which ones trigger anxiety the most in you? Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. Again, just write down your top 3 feared social situations, and the last page of the worksheet gives you space to be able to do that. So you'll be referring to these again in future exercises as you go through the Calm Living program, so it's a good idea to keep the sheet handy, keep it in a safe place. And if you find it difficult to come up with 3 situations, that's okay. I mean, you may think of other situations as you work through the program, and it's also fine to change your mind about which situations are your top 3. Feel free to modify your list as you go along. This is not set in stone by any means. Okay, so in the next video, I'm going to be using the term the social confidence game. And the reason for that will become completely clear when you watch that video. But for now, I just want you to go with that metaphor and think of your top 3 feared social situations as the playing field in the game. Okay, so the social situations are like the playing field in the game. Okay, so first we need to learn the rules of the game though. So what I want you to do is head on over to the next video with me to discover rule number 1. I'll see you there.